Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Valecast, brought to you by Motive. I'm Simo. Today I'm joined by Callum. Say hello, Callum.
Hello, Simo. It's been a couple of weeks since we've spoken now, so
It's
no,
been
it's good to
far
see you
too
again.
long. It's been far too long, mate. It's ridiculous. It's my
I
fault,
went,
though. I'll take responsibility.
not to worry, not to
I was
worry.
a wee
We're
bit
into
busy
December
last week.
now.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. But no, into December now, and I see we're still rocking the November look. So good on you.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, like, I hated the mustache look at the beginning, and now it's kind of grown on me a little bit. I know it's just shy. I think I might have hit the £900 mark.
Oh,
So that's not a bad shout for a mustache. For a mustache,
it's
that's
not
not a
bad,
bad
is
shout.
it? It's not bad at
Um,
all.
but now we're past the November closing date, and it's just kind of hard to say goodbye. I
Oh,
think,
you're going to hold on?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I'm going home today, and I think when the missus sees it, it might be getting took off there and then.
Oh dear.
But we should get into the football. So let's back up. We obviously missed last week, but we had a big result to talk about. We won 10-0 at Princess Royal Park against Fort William. We obviously spoke about this being a bit of a sort of marker bounce game that we could really set a tempo in and really go and
Aye.
express ourselves in, and that's what happened. I mean, from all accounts, I wasn't at the stadium, but for all accounts, from what I read online, obviously this result was massive news and very widely covered. The Vale were absolutely excellent and spotlight a performance of the season. Callum, give us a wee bit of an insight to the day.
Aye. Well, it certainly wasn't a tight game, that's for sure. It was. Yeah, it was a wee bit edgy at 5-0, but we managed to get it to the
Yeah,
delivery.
you
I
think you're
mean,
safe when
fun,
five, when number
fantastic.
five goes in, you think, okay, we're
You
going to be all
think,
right.
you think, but no, consistency was there, five in each half, and we had a trialist up front for us on the day as well who bagged a hat trick. So,
Hat trick.
it's not bad as far as trials go, I
Can
suppose.
we name
But
the trialist? Oh,
I. Mr. Trialist, we'll just stick with that. So,
okay,
but I'm not sure what the latest is on that, and obviously as we know more, we'll update. But at the
yeah.
moment, we'll
If we
stick
can,
with the
if we
man
can, we
who's
will.
supposed
We'll name him
to.
eventually if we can.
Exactly, exactly. I've got a scarf there ready for him to hold above his head if he wants. So, but yeah, I mean, fantastic performance from the boys. The first goal in the first minute set the tone. I don't even think I was away from the dugouts by the time Max got that first goal.
Hmm.
Taking all the photos of I think the oldest mascot in Highland League history, probably, with our man celebrating his 30th birthday, leading the team out. So no, that was great fun. Hospitality Lounge was rocking as well on the day, which is just adds to the occasion. But yeah, every time the boys went forward, it looked as though it was going to end up in the back of the net. Um, I would say, I mean, it's very rare that you would concede 10 goals, but I thought the Fort William goalkeeper was absolutely outstanding, and was pulling off some right worldies. So, and I think I was speaking to a few of the supporters just dotted around the grounds, and we all kind of agreed Fort William individually are very, very talented. They have a fantastic side, actually, individually, but collectively, it just wasn't happening for them on the day. But I mean, some really pacey wingers, a couple of big boys up front that look as though they could get about the goals. So, they've just appointed a new manager, which has obviously been across national press and Sky Sports interviews and everything like
Yep.
that. So, congratulations to him on that appointment. Looks like it'll be a great appointment for them. But it just came a bit late because obviously a few weeks back, ended 10-0. So, yeah, all-round performance was just a beautiful thing to see, to be honest with you. There was a flurry of goals in the second half. I think it was about 3 goals, about 4 minutes or something like that. That obviously adds a bit of gloss onto the scoreline. But don't get me wrong, the boys deserved the result. And there was talk again amongst the supporters of what was the record scoreline again. So I think we ended up just a few goals off of that, unfortunately. But
Hmm.
no, a great day to be a Vale fan. Days like that don't come around all too often. Where from minute 1 to minute 92, your team is just
Just great stuff.
dominating. And yeah, as I say, some fantastic football being played. And yeah, Saturday was just an absolutely wonderful day.
Oh, I bet it was. I bet it was. I mean, the results don't come much better than that,
No.
and I'm surprised to hear you say. I mean, are praising the Fort William goalkeeper. I don't think I've ever heard a keeper that's had 10 go by him get a bit of praise, but I'm sure he'll take he'll take that with a bit of salt.
Hey, I mean, as I say, I think they have got some very talented players in their ranks, and it's just about how this new manager turns them into a group of individuals to a team, I
You
suppose.
never
And
know.
it's not going to take much. Hopefully, it doesn't come too late for them. Because obviously now it's us at past the halfway point now. So, hopefully they do get a wee bit of time to make up some ground. But it doesn't look great for them. But we'll see them again towards the end of the season.
We
Wish
could be
them
in
the best between now and then.
Yeah, we could be in for a game next time we see them. Obviously, they'll see this as a bit of unfinished business. So, look forward to when we play them next. And then we need to talk about the Broda. We went away to Broda, 4-0 scoreline. We were on the losing end, and I think when I went to the Broda game at the opening season, and I think it was 4-0 the scoreline as well. I want to say,
think so, yeah.
Yeah, so Broda have done a double over us. So obviously it's not went to plan this game. What were your thoughts on it, Callum?
I mean, Broda's a hell of a tough opposition. As I say, I've said this before, and you're probably harping back to Valecast at the start of the season. So, we're not here to make up the numbers, and that's absolutely true. When you're playing teams like that, there is a split at the moment. Not that long ago, there wasn't so much of a split. Just thinking back 10 years or so, the Vale were one of the teams up at the top end of the table. And we want to get back to being like that, of course. But at the moment, there is a bit of a split there between the top 6, 7 and the rest. So it's a tough place to go anytime. Broda are obviously, I wouldn't say they've had a bad run at all, but they're not top of the table, which for them is just not good enough. So they've got a bit of a point to prove, because I think there's been other teams that have come in and taken the plaudits this season, and Broda have maybe kind of snuck under the radar a wee bit. We always knew it'd be a tough game. Both games have shown that, and Broda are still one of the best teams in this league. So 4-0 again, there'll be a bit of a gloss on the scoreline possibly, but there's Vale fans don't want to say there's no disgrace in losing to a team like that. We don't want to be going away and getting kind of defeat, but ultimately, it doesn't kill the season result. It's not that kind of performance, I don't think. So, and I wasn't there myself, but from the reports that I've read and some of the folk I've spoken to, performance wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad day at the office. I think it was maybe against Turriff, wasn't it? Craig described it as a bad day at the office, and that happens every so often, but. There's, as I say, a golfing resource, not so much a golfing quality, but that it's just a step up, I suppose, and it's just unfortunately not gone our way.
And it does happen. We're not going to make up the distance to Broda in a season. It's just football does not work like that. You can't just flick a switch overnight and then you're top of the table. Those kind of shortcuts just don't exist. We need to beat the teams around us, and we need to give the games above the teams above us a game whenever we come against them. You look at, Broda top opposition, but it's a very tight league this year.
Oh, yeah. Very.
I'm looking at the table right now. Broda sitting fourth, right? They've won 13 of their 16 games, lost the other 3. They're currently 4 points off the top. Obviously, Fraserburgh still sitting up there pretty nicely. With 1 draw and 1 loss of their 16 games, and they've won the other 14. So it's incredibly competitive up there at the top of the league, and so that's not the norm for Broda. For what I understand, they demand that demand of themselves that the standards are to meet the sort of
definitely.
Top.
I think Fraserburgh's season is going how Broda expect theirs to every year. I think it's difficult. It is difficult as more teams come into the league, as we saw, obviously, with Brechin coming in, added quality there. We knew that they were going to be one of the favourites for the league as well. Fraserburgh were always listed as one of the teams that folk would expect to see. Maybe not winning the league, but certainly right up there. Broda, Rothes, all mentioned as well. So it's it's a tough old league for the boys at the top, and obviously we're looking on a little bit envious at that. But being realistic, if you look back to when Craig was appointed in the first place, the ambition was to kind of break the top 5, top 6 within the next couple of years. So if we are, in season 1, and sitting, and yes, I think so, still sitting in 8th position at the moment. There's a wee bit of a gap up to Formartin, but for what he's hoping to achieve in the next couple of seasons, I think this season is definitely a good grounding.
There's definitely. It's a good base, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
not Football Manager, it's not FIFA, it's not.
No.
There's not just one button that you start playing and then you're winning all of a sudden. It's these things take time, and if you look at all the top sides and you compare it right up to the top of the football, there's always a project. Do you know what I mean? And there's always a building process, and it's not just sort of like one thing clicks into place and then everything else comes together. It's not always as simple as that. We just need to take our wins we get. We're still in a good spot. We kind of sit best of the rest right now. And we've got teams to chase and foundations to build.
Absolutely. And as I say, when Craig was appointed with the ambitions that he's going to set out, and I know Craig and Mo are very competitive people. They want to. They are winners themselves. They want to be winners. And I'm sure their ambitions even go beyond what they've said publicly. But if Craig expected us to, like with the Brora game, if we go up there and we come back disappointed with a defeat or expect to win, obviously we're always disappointed with a defeat, but we go up there expecting to win, then Craig would have come out when he was appointed and say we want to win the league, and it's just being realistic. That's a couple of years away before we're looking, as part of that plan to be challenging at that kind of level. So, if the season was to stop right now, which our previous years, I'm really hoping it doesn't, if the season was to end today, I think we'd be pretty happy with what we've achieved so far, So yeah, hopefully now, as I say, into the second half of the campaign now, gives us every opportunity to learn a lot of lessons, from playing some of these teams, apply it into the games where, we are competing against those in and around us, and then you have some of the teams further down the league coming to see us as well. So it gives us every chance to have a good second part of the season, and overall, I would say a very successful campaign.
Right. Okay. We need to move on. We need to talk about a bit of transfer business and potential outgoings from the club. It's not to say the business is done or that is a completely set in stone thing. But Callum, just bring us through, what's kind of going on in terms of potential outgoings in the squad.
Yeah. So over the weekend of the Fort William game, we announced, Max Stewart had signed his new deal, and Dane had signed a new deal as well, which is fantastic. I think Max has really come on to a good game this season, really becoming part of that kind of starting 11 now, and has shown when Dane's not available that he can comfortably wear the number 9. Dane, fantastic getting him signed up again. I think we're seeing him back at his best now. And I know he's just coming off of a week and a niggle injury, so he hasn't been involved the last couple of weeks, but or came off the bench against Fort William anyway. So I'm sure once he's back to 100% fitness, and we've got a free weekend this weekend as well, so it gives him every chance to be ready for the game on the 11th. So yeah, that was the good news. Obviously, not so good news was around Ross Aitken, Kyle Willocks, and Matthew Wallace. So we put out that all three of them had been offered new deals and had decided to kind of take the opportunity to wait until the end of the campaign to decide what they wanted to do, which they're well within their rights to do. That's the whole. It's the pros and cons of football contracts and expiry dates and everything like that. It happens. Every team is going to lose a player here and there. I think just given, particularly with folk like Ross, who's obviously been involved for a hell of a long time with Deveronvale, I think through the youth setup and obviously into the first team and skipper as well. That's it's always disappointing, but well within his rights. Just all three of them absolutely well within their rights to go off and see what else is out there. That's not to say that, as you said, there it's not set in stone that they are all going to be away. At this stage, the club just want to effectively protect its investment that it's made into these three players over the years. We don't want to lose them for nothing if they are to leave, basically. So it's there to kind of protect the business of Deveronvale Football Club, obviously then giving Craig potentially an opportunity to reinvest into the squad as well. But yeah, nothing set in stone. We'll obviously cross that bridge as and when we come to it. But it could be that the boys have a look around and realise, actually, I feel this might be my best place to play football still at Deveronvale. Then in that case, then that's fantastic, and we'd love to see that. But these guys are, as I say, well within the rights to go out and do that. It could be a multiple kind of factors involved in that. It's not just about either not wanting to play for Deveronvale anymore. I don't think it's about that at all. all three players were involved against Verona, and Ross continues to be the club captain as well. That doesn't change at all. So the commitment can't be questioned. And I actually saw and very much agreed with some of the comments on social media. And it's very easy to just kind of sit there and say, no commitment or what have you. But these boys, along with the rest of the squad during the pandemic, and particularly during the early stages of the pandemic, waived all of their wages and allowed Deveronvale Football Club to continue effectively. So I don't think that can ever be downplayed. So there's certainly no question of loyalty or commitment or anything like that. But as I say, when a player who's coming out of contract expresses that they maybe want to wait, it wasn't a no, it was just I want to hold off and just see what happens. Then ultimately, the football club just has to kind of put itself first, and as I say, if it gives us an opportunity to kind of replace them with players of the same quality, which isn't easy, all three of them in particular, they have been starting 11 players for a number of years now with the Vale, and very important parts of the squad across a number of positions, of course. So it's not easy to replace talent like that. But as I say, if we don't lose them for nothing, then it does give an opportunity maybe to free up areas where we can bring in new faces to try and kind of rebuild effectively, So, but as I say, it's not the door's not closed on these guys. If they do have a change of heart, I'm sure Craig will be first on the phone to them to have a chat about it. And we'll just wait and see what happens. But certainly not a closed case as it stands just now.
Thanks very much for the update, Callum. That is going to do us for today. Thank you very much for everybody watching. And again, apologies for missing the Valecast last week, but we're back on track. If you have enjoyed this Valecast, please like and subscribe. It really does help support the show. And as far as transfer news goes, ingoings or outgoings, you can get all that news on social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Make sure you follow them on. Make sure you follow on YouTube as well. Subscribe so you can get Valecast every single week. Bring you every Thursday or Friday, depending on the midweek fixture. Okay, until next time, bye.